Okay, one thing I've got here, which I saw, was about Spotify
All right.
and how they're taking some artists off their playlists that go against these like new regulations they're putting on. So like, if they promote racism, ageism, things like that, just it's called hate content. Well, as their new, it's their hate content and hateful conduct policy. So basically, R. Kelly's been taken off their playlist because he's a piece of shit. From the
I don't know anything about him.
You don't know anything about him?
No.
Well, basically, he has this cult of, or he gets these women into these cult, and they're basically his slaves, and
Right.
it's all quite bad. On his
wait,
front.
that's not the guy that walks around with like women on leads, is it? Is that a different guy?
I don't know. It
That's-
might
there
be
was-
him.
I
He's a
saw
weird.
it,
He's
yeah.
a weird guy, and he obviously ages ago, even like it was like 10, 20 years ago, he a sex tape leaked of him with a 15-year-old, and he was pissing on the 15-year-old.
I shouldn't laugh. That's terrible. That's terrible.
No, it's bad. Like
It is bad.
and still he's just got away with it throughout his career, and only now is it kind of coming up and kind of biting him on the ass. And
Yeah.
basically it's him. He's been taken off their playlist, so he hasn't been taken off Spotify itself. So
Yeah.
that's kind of understandable on Spotify's front, because
They
they curate their playlist, so they can choose what goes on, and they're definitely beneficial for people like R. Kelly, whose career is pretty much over anyway.
Right.
And obviously like Bump and Grind and I Believe I Can Fly will be on some of their playlists, and people will listen to that. They'll give him money, so taking that away from him is going to affect him loads. But there's also new rappers like XXX who
Okay.
you probably never heard of him.
No.
but he's quite big on on the internet. He's blown up over the last couple of years, and
Sounds like the name of like a porno or something.
yeah,
What is that?
he but yeah, I think he's a really talented guy. I like his music, but
Okay.
he's obviously had these allegations of like domestic abuse. He apparently abused his pregnant girlfriend or something. He's got a whole host of crimes against him. He's been to jail before.
Right.
Last year I think he was in jail. He came out a few months ago, but he's still got a massive following online. Kids don't really care. It's a problematic one, but it comes to that argument whether you can separate the artist from the art. And it kind of, there's a lot of cases throughout history where there have been people that are complete pieces of shit, like Woody Allen. I've heard things about him that but people still watch his movies and still like his movies. Like,
Well, they're good movies.
yeah, like
I don't actually know much about the allegations against him. I'm not even sure if there's still allegations or not.
well, he adopted this girl
Right.
years ago, and now he's like married to her.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's
that
a
is
little bit
weird.
fucked up, and yeah, it's just things like this. Is I don't know. It's like how far do you go with it? Because obviously Chris Brown with Rihanna, he beat her up, and still he's very successful from them. But I guess he hasn't reoffended since. It's just how far you go with, like, do you stop listening to them because or can you still enjoy their music or films?
Well, I guess it's it depends what the message is in the film or the movie, right? With Woody Allen films, for example, I haven't noticed any messages in those movies that are kind of in line with that image of him marrying the girl that he adopted. Right? There's not, his movies don't kind of line up with that, if you know what I mean. So I guess in that case you could separate it and just enjoy the movies for what they are. But yeah, with music it's difficult because it comes along with, there's a lot more allegiance that people have towards artists. Rather, there's kind of film buffs that will go and see a movie that a specific director's done, but generally there's a lot less kind of allegiance with an artist in particular.
And 50 Cent has replied to this on Twitter, saying Spotify is wrong for what they're doing to artists like R. Kelly and XXXTentacion. They're not convicted of anything, because that's true. They haven't actually been convicted yet. They've just got a number of allegations against them.
Yeah.
Which then opens another can of worms of whether Spotify are right in taking or censoring people's music from their playlist, not completely from their platform, but obviously being on their top playlists, which have millions of subscribers to the playlist.
Yeah,
it's going to affect their career, and it's whether it's right to do that. Like, it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? And not the other way around.
No, yeah, certainly it's a shame with when people's lives are ruined because of an allegation.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I was reading a statistic recently where most of the time, or this was specifically with like rape allegations, most of the time when someone does make an allegation, it turns out to be true. But that doesn't mean that it's always true, and that doesn't mean that that person is instantly just a complete asshole. But it does make it's the same with anything. If you're involved in a court case, it makes making business agreements difficult, because it's like a cloud hanging over your head.
Yeah.
So there's the argument that it should just not matter at all is a bit irrelevant, but where you draw the line really is the important part.